Return of the Zashiki Warashi. Yuna's family ran a karaoke box. Having said that, it wasn't like it was a large store in a large city, and sometimes Yuna would also help them out. She would help deliver the customers' orders, or clean up after them. She would receive pocket money after helping, so she didn't mind it. But then, one afternoon, when she was helping out at the store, Yuna asked her mother something she had always been curious about. "Hey, we never have any customers in room 13, huh?" "5 years after opening the karaoke box. Being that they were next to a national highway, they got a decent number of customers. However, room 13 was always empty. Even if they assigned someone to that room, they would always ask for another one." But her mother simply smiled at her question and then said, I wonder." With that, she left the store in Yuna's hands while she went out to do some shopping. And so, Yuna stood alone at the counter. This wasn't exactly uncommon, so it didn't bother her very much. But today, a weird customer came to the store. He must have been an old man around 70 years old. He was thin, wearing a suit and goggle-eyed. He stepped up to the counter and said, "I'd like room 13, please." "Ah, yes," said Yuna, and then she showed him to the room. It was the first time a customer had ever asked for this room. Somewhat curious, Yuna peeked through the window in the door when she came to see what drinks the old man wanted to order. Her heart pounded. He wasn't singing, nor was he even sitting on the sofa, but instead he was sitting in the corner, hugging his knees. And he was trembling. Nervous, Yuna opened the door, went inside and asked the old man what he wanted to order. But the old man stared at her with wide eyes and then spoke very slowly. "Is your mother here?" No," Yuna said in surprise. Then the man simply said, "Oolong tea," and cast his gaze back at the ground. Yuna nodded and quickly fled the room. Her heart pounded and her legs trembled. She'd never seen such a strange customer before. He looked so creepy, sitting in the corner like that. She didn't want to go back to that room ever again. But she had to, and soon. Yoshikawa-san, who was cooking in the kitchen, brought the oolong tea that the old man ordered. She had to take it back to that room. Out of options, Yuna walked down the hall, knocked on the door to room 13, and then went inside again. The old man was still sitting in the corner, hugging his knees. Yuna put the tea down on the table and quickly tried to leave. But then, the man suddenly coughed violently. Are you okay?" His cough sounded terrible, so Yuna asked before she could stop herself. "Are you your mother's daughter?" Asked this question so suddenly, Yuna nodded in surprise. I see. Then maybe I can talk to you about this as well. You see, I'm a Zashiki Warashi. Zashiki Warashi? You mean like the yokai? Yuna asked, staring at him blankly. You're just kidding, right? But the man's expression did not change, and he pointed at the glass of oolong tea on the table. Then the glass started to float in the air and move towards the man's hand. Then he started gulping it down. Phew. Okay, I'm good now. Yuna's eyes went wide, and the man smiled as he spoke to her. You are surprised, of course. Why wouldn't you be? You see, I actually used to live here long ago. Long ago? But this place was only built 5 years ago. Do you know what used to be here before that? Yuna tilted her head and thought. Come to think of it, when she was just a kid, her now deceased grandmother ran a Japanese inn. 5 years ago they tore it down and built this karaoke box. That's right, this place used to be a Japanese inn. It was built over 70 years ago, when I was born and I started living there. They treated me very well, both Grandpa and Grandma. And I lived in room 13 of that inn. I forever sat in the corner, hugging my knees. Room 13? That was the same room number as this one. However, it burnt down during the war and then had to be rebuilt. I thought it would be a good opportunity for me to leave that inn. Everyone was sad that I was gone. It's often said that families will go into decline if a Zashiki Warashi leaves, but that's not true. It had nothing to do with whether I was there or not. If you work hard, you will prosper. There's nothing more to it. So, I traveled far and wide. I visited large mansions, massive high-tech buildings, even small boats. I lived in various locations over the last 70 years, always sitting in the corner and holding my knees. I've lived my life watching people work and people die. As he seemed to be remembering all this, he finished talking. But Yuna let out a big sigh. Then she scowled. But I still don't believe you. After all, Zashiki Warashi are children, and you're old. That's just what you humans decided to think. Yokai can also grow tired, grow old, and someday die as well. Just like humans. I fear it's almost time. Having said that, the old man took a watch out of his pocket and looked at it. Yes, it's almost time. Please hurry to the kitchen now. Eh? The kitchen. Now! Yuna did as the old man said, running from room 13 to the kitchen. A pan in the kitchen was on fire, and the fire was now trying to spread throughout the room. Yoshikawa-san was passed out next to it. Yuna quickly grabbed the fire extinguisher, put it out, and then immediately called an ambulance. Because she was quick in discovering it, the fire didn't spread. The cause of the fire was Yoshikawa-san's anemia. While he was frying some things, he suddenly felt ill and then passed out. Then the temperature of the oil in the pan rose and caught on fire. It was all thanks to that Zashiki Warashi that it wasn't a larger fire. It was said that Zashiki Warashi could see impending danger and warn people to prevent it. That old Zashiki Warashi no doubt returned to their house to do exactly that. But when Yuna returned to room 13 after things calmed down, the old man was nowhere to be seen. The only thing there was an old 1,000 yen note on the table. Was that for renting the room and the oolong tea, perhaps? So, the old Zashiki Warashi came back, huh? Yuna's mother said when she got home, looking entirely unfazed. Apparently, she'd heard about him from her own mother. That a Zashiki Warashi lived in room 13 when the building wasn't in. But even after he left, few people chose that room, perhaps still sensing something of his former presence there. And when they built the karaoke box, that was no doubt the same reason that few people wanted room 13 there either. But she said not to worry about it. "Ah, I wish I could have seen him again," her mother muttered again, still looking entirely unfazed. Yuna received the old 1,000 yen note the old man left behind to use as she wished. But she didn't feel like spending it, and instead put it in her desk. Sometimes, Yuna continued looking inside the empty room 13. She couldn't help but wonder if that old Zashiki Warashi might come back again.